Les.
Hi, Paige. It's literally how we started last time.
Welcome to Life in Season with Paige
And Liz.
a show where conversation sparks action.
In each episode, we dive into how we live in sync with the moon cycles, the rituals behind our choices, and the philosophy behind our goals.
On this month's Corn Moon episode, we are diving into intention setting, what we want to let go of in our lives, and what we want to keep around.
Are you ready to dive in?
Let's get to it.
Awesome.
All right, new moon, new month. We are in August, which doesn't sound right yet.
It's only the 3rd, so
This is true.
yeah.
This is what I say every January, too. I'm like, it doesn't feel like a new year yet.
And my rent was just paid, though, so it's a new month.
True.
And this month is the corn moon.
The corn moon, also known as the harvest moon, also known as the barley moon, which is why we shared a beer.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Incorporating all of the different moon correspondences into this episode.
I was like, I like the bubbliness we're bringing since it does symbolize vitality, friendship, harvesting, and appreciating. So I love all of that because that is what I feel like I'm doing intentionally in my life anyways.
Yeah.
Is like I've been planting the seeds, putting in the fruits and the options, and now I'm like, okay, let's start cutting this shit down. Let's bring it home. Let's implement it. I'm ready. School year is almost going to start for my girl. So let's get to it. Let's start. Let's like hit the ground running. You know, I'm giving myself that second to last quarter, I guess, head start of just like, okay, bust ass for like 2 months. This is why it's an explicit episode. I'm sorry. Sailor mouth. And
We weren't really going to be a clean podcast. I mean, let's be real.
no.
No, but I love it. I love that friendship is a theme for this month as we sit down and record yet another episode.
Yeah.
Friendship right here.
Yeah.
And then I love harvesting and gathering being a part of this too because we both have herb gardens. Like I need to go out there and harvest a bunch of my stuff and start putting it to use. And so, I feel like it's a time to start harvesting back as we navigate and move into fall and winter and just another way to prepare and plan for life's seasons.
Yeah. And even though summer's slower, I feel like it's hectic. There's so much you want to do. You want to have time in your weeks, and not to be cheesy, but I do feel like this time of year, every year, this is when I really start embodying mind, body, soul. This is when I feel that they are the most connected without having to really try.
Good
like
for you.
I am like conscious about my mind. Getting into those like cozy, let's light candles. It's going to get a little chilly out. Let's wear sweaters. Let's wear boots with heels because we're adults. And
we classy. That's funny that you say this is when you feel the most connected. This is actually when I feel the most disconnected.
Oh, elaborate. Okay.
Yeah. So after we recorded our July, what was that? Buck Moon episode.
Buck Moon.
Excuse me.
Buck Moon. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of my good routines had kind of fallen to the wayside. And I think it's because I became so dedicated and devoted to the podcast and to finishing my novel, in all honesty. Not something that I'm writing, but like just finishing a book.
Yeah.
'Cause it was really good and I really wanted to finish it. But other things just took a back burner. So I was going to bed a lot later. Waking up a lot later, which is not on brand for me and what I was saying the last episode. So I found beauty in it in a little bit of, okay, well, maybe this is just life's way of being like, it's still time to reset. It's time to maybe take a step back and look at things that you need to alter or improve upon. Not getting rid of a whole lot of stuff, but where can you open up new invitations for new things to come into your life?
And it's funny because I had all these things I was going to let go of and implement. And that's kind of what I meant by like, I don't feel the most like mind, body, soul connected because in the summer, it is that time to just explore.
Yeah.
I feel like we probably shouldn't have even tried to necessarily take things away or put things to rest, but more just like gain awareness. Play. What is working? Ask the questions. Don't try to change too much yet, but just explore and let your schedules change, because naturally that is what happens in the summer. We're trying to maximize our time in the sun.
Literally.
We have more fun things to do outside, especially if you're from the Midwest, because, you know, we're all inside for the next 6 months.
It's about
Get
to get
ready.
cold here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get your panties in a twist. Buckle them up and get ready to go.
And my husband
it's
said,
ready to get cozy time.
Yeah. My husband said to me this last year, I did the exact same thing. I got really hard on myself of, I'm not doing everything that I was in the winter. And he's like, well, it's spring and summer. So things are going to change. And
let's go to the plant shop and let's go take a walk and go find a restaurant. Yeah, those are summer activities. Yeah. It's throw the schedule in the air and let's explore and have fun. Let's enjoy the time we have. Yeah. And it was hard too, because I felt like coming out of spring, I'm like, okay, there's so many things I want to accomplish before the end of the year. And then I put all this pressure on myself and I beat myself up over, you didn't do that. And you were so in your head and you took 3 weeks to even make a decision on one thing instead of just letting it flow. And I feel like if I had done that and just played more, probably would have been able to make better decisions.
Or more things happen.
More efficiently. I don't even want to say faster, because again, it's like let go of that pressure of time.
Which I feel like has been a big theme in your life recently.
Yeah.
Which you're a little bit younger than me. And so I feel like when I was in my like more early 30s, I'm 34 now, it was very much judging myself or juxtaposing myself as opposed to my peers. And getting down on, they're doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm over here in A, B, and C. And
I didn't even think about, sorry to cut you off. I did not even think about that transition from your late 20s to your early 30s. And I remember saying to you when you were like 31, 32. But I already feel like I am 30. Like, we're kind of on the same level, and you're like, bitch, wait. Get ready. You're going to feel totally differently. Something just happens when you hit your 30s. And it's true. I was judging myself based on what everyone else was doing. And then I hit 30. I'm getting closer to 32. And now I'm like, well, okay. God, did I waste 6 years? Have I asked the same questions since 2018 about myself? And yes, some things have progressed, and here we go with the, criticizing myself. I'm going to let it go in this episode. I'm going to try my best. But it is, you start focusing on everything you felt like you lost time on in your 20s, because that was your time to explore and figure things out. And it's supposed to be okay. It doesn't feel okay in your 30s. It feels like, okay, I'm in this really weird in-between phase of I'm still young, but I'm not really that young. And I can still explore. You need to have a quick plan. We're running out of time. And it's this back and forth duality of we're good, we're young. Bitch, get your shit together. We don't have a lot of time. Before you can do the things that you want to do. It's true. And I didn't even think about that. So I'll let you finish. I'm sorry. But yeah, I didn't think about that transition from the late 20s to the early 30s mind. And what that might feel like mid-30s. So keep expanding. I'm curious.
Well, and I think it just goes to show that you have to constantly have that open mind, no matter what age you are, what season of life you're in, whether it's physically, weather-wise, or whether you're overcoming or coming out of something major. Just having that openness and knowing you're on your own timeline. Some people are late bloomers. Some people, wake up in this world upon birth knowing exactly what their dharma is.
Jealous.
Same here. I feel like I spent a lot of time in my life just figuring out.
Just playing and trying to figure out what's my direct path.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to be spending my life doing? And it can be really big and scary and kind of limiting sometimes.
For sure.
Just staying open.
But even the people that have it, hashtag figured out, or not hashtag, quotation, figure out.
This is hashtag.
Let's learn grammar today, guys. I read a story about a ballerina, and she knew from the time she was 5 years old. She was in classes. This is what she wanted to do. She wanted to go to Juilliard, all these things, makes it, ends up being in her mid-30s, has a total breakdown, literally and figuratively, of just, who am I? So it's funny, we put these parameters on ourselves like we're different from somebody that has an identity, would be the best way to explain it. Yeah. They've identified with a box, and that box feels comfortable. But I think all of us hit a point where we want to shed the box and just know us with all our complexities. Mm-hmm. No niche. The niche is everything that we like together. We talked about that a lot recently. And I find that really interesting after what you just said, because I'm like, well, that is true. And then also probably not true, because those that have it figured out don't want to be known as the ballerina.
There's a whole other side.
They want to be known as the woman, the one who's likes to paint, likes to walk dogs, would rather work in a deli shop. Like, literally, this is part of the article, and I'm like, what? You went to Juilliard. You knew what you were supposed to do your whole life. You worked all of high school and college to this big goal. You knew what you were doing. She accomplished it. All of a sudden, it's, but that's not me. That's what I do.
And what now?
Yeah. And as we're talking about it, that's a really good point. Maybe it's us breaking away from the identity. I think even in our 20s, no matter if you had a set goal or if you were playing around and you had these different interests, you created an identity around that. Mm-hmm. The writer, the jock, the this, the that. And it's about this play mode mm-hmm. with awareness of our past, of our healing. All of us are on different levels of healing, I guess. But still, I think regardless of how much you have spirituality or religion or anything in your lives, you hit a point where you're like, okay, who is me outside of this box of identity I've given myself?
Letting go of that attachment of
what makes you feel good about life, what makes you feel successful. Yeah,
because the more you are attached to your ego, and by that I mean, like, not if you're an egotistical person, but I mean, everybody.
What makes you feel good?
Yeah. That's all your ego is there for, to be like satisfying your need for love and companionship and for feeling safe.
And feeling recognized.
Yeah, that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
But letting go of that attachment of constantly feeding into that, or constantly feeling like you have to belong to a specific identity or community. Mm-hmm. The more you kind of step back from that, then I feel like the more whole and one you can feel within your spiritual and energetic vibration side. Yeah. Which I feel like I was just reading Be Here Now by Ram Dass, and he talks about that a bit in his introduction, and all of his like expeditions into India and stuff like that. It's such a cool story, but he tells this story that he's like tripping on LSD or psilocybin in the 60s, which just had to have been crazy.
Yeah,
but that's
having real closet grown mold that he was taking there.
But he had this tripping experience where he was shedding off all of these different parts of his identity. Mm-hmm. And he said it was like a really liberating experience. And I was like, oh, I see where you at, Ram Dass.
I was like, I'll get vulnerable for a second, because anytime that I've taken any type of psychedelic, which, like, oh my God, I'm in my 30s, but my 20-year-old self is like, shh, your parents might hear. It's like, you are a parent. But, it was always taken at it's been a while now, but it was always taken at very pivotal moments in my life. Especially once I got out of, like, really early college, let's do it to have fun stages. It always happened like with a group of friends or in an experience with others, to where my whole world was shifting. Okay. Where my mind was going, what I was going to go through. And I feel like it did just kind of like melt all the worries and open up to just like having fun with the journey. Because whether you've taken them or not, I've always experienced it as like you have a thought, and then as you're going through the experience, you journey through all the feelings and you come back to the same thought with a totally different perspective.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like
there's a theme, right? For each trip. Mm-hmm. Like there is a theme. Journaling drug responsibly. Carry on.
PSA, yes.
Disclaimer, we are not suggesting everyone take drugs. Some of us cannot handle it.
They are not legal in the USA.
We're filming this in Denver, the legal there. That's where we did all our drugs in Denver. Continue.
No, I like that though. One thing that the book said too is coming back to a communal love for the whole human collective too, which that is something that I feel like, I come back to.
Childhood, like, wonder and exploration.
Yes.
We're like, the trees are fun. Ooh, this is cute. And oh my gosh, that bug. And that's what it brings you back to during the trip too. I mean, there's all these grand thoughts and experiences. But at the heart of it, what makes it the most fun is that you feel like a kid again. It's everything's bright. I ain't got shit to do but be right here in this moment. Let's look at the grass. Let's play around the tree. Let's pick flowers if we want. Let's go for a walk. Let's stare at the ceiling and talk. And I do. I love the simplicity of just enjoying where you are right now in the moment. Before you take it, it's always just like, well, see you on the other side, because right now we're going into the zone of just not doing shit and having a lot of fun. Good times.
Right? It brings me back to Be Here Now, the bar that we always hung out at in college. I mean,
ironic. Not ironic. It was intentional. Where I got married. Story of my life. Okay.
Right. So many memories there. But anywho.
Oh, do we remember what we said in the first new moon? So, well, I'll let you start. Let's tell the story of how the last month has gone with this podcast, because it's so perfect, honestly. It's perfect that we're doing 2 new moon episodes back to back. This has been a learning experience for both of us, figuring out what we want, what was the point. Honestly, even as we started planning, I think both of us probably had moments where we were like, why are we doing this again? Not why, because we want to, but it was this like, what was the center focus again?
What's our plan?
It brought up so much in my life of what I want to accomplish and the feelings behind it. So I'll let you tell them how July went with our pattern.
Well, what's really funny is there were supposed to be 3 other episodes that were going to air in between the July new moon episode, which just was aired today.
We told you guys we were learning to live in sync with the cycles.
Yes.
We were not in sync with the cycles yet, but ironic and perfect, because that's what summer was all about. And then we were in like, go, go, go. We're going to go boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But instead we were like, oh, we have such and such events and this, and then we're going to do that. And it split all our time up.
I also took... I took for granted how much goes in to just creating a podcast, creating a business type Instagram, creating accounts like a YouTube and Apple Podcasts. I mean, it took me like 2 weeks to figure out how to get us on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, it did.
So it was a really humbling experience of, oh man, I'm going to learn a lot, but I also had some thought of, have we bitten off more than we can chew?
So we got help. I was like, we have Adam, our production assistant,
Adam,
who has been completely amazing, took a huge load off our shoulders.
Yes.
Mixing and making sure that we sounded good, sending that back and forth and, combining our creative minds. Just even that took more time than we thought. It took like an extra 2 weeks to post our first episode than we wanted to. And I think we even talked about in our first new moon episode about going with the flow, and it doesn't have to be hard. Let's not resist change. And then all through July, we were like, shit, okay.
Well, and then I, work in corporate America where deadlines, like, they have to be met. And so I was setting deadlines for me, like, okay, you have to get X, Y, and Z done with the podcast. And I wasn't meeting those. And so then I was being really harsh with myself. I feel like kind of bringing that energy to the planning and the production a little bit, where I had to tell myself a lot, like, Liz, this is fun. This is like, don't bring this like corporate manager role to this. That's not what we need all the time.
Because it was perfect the whole time. It all worked out exactly how it needed to give us the perspective and the knowledge that we needed for the next one.
Yep.
And I know what you mean, because I put a lot of internal shame on myself when I set an unrealistic goal, not thinking about all the parameters of what that goal entails. And then, beat myself up for it.
And just,
I internalize that shame, and it's this, to put it frankly, I guess this like internal, you suck. It did, and you don't, and it's all been great the whole time.
Absolutely.
It continues to progress. Yeah.
We keep saying to each other, oh, we're on the same page, which is so funny because, page.
Pun intended.
Page. Yeah. But when we were talking yesterday or the day before and we were planning for today, you were bringing up things that I had made mental notes of, oh, we need to talk to Paige about like X, Y, and Z. And you were already like, hey, I think we need to do ABC.
It's true.
And I was like, oh, yes. Yes, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And so just trusting the process, not caring about the how you're going to get there sometimes, but the end journey, which
it's just universally miraculous though, because that's exactly what we talked about, what we wanted to implement. As we went through the experience, we were like, oh God, we're not doing it the way we said we were going to, but we actually did. We actually manifested and did exactly what we set out to do by setting those intentions. We learned to go in sync with what needs to happen. We learned to stop resisting by going through all those experiences. We started to give ourselves more grace. Just even hearing you talk, I'm like, actually, we hit everything on the head.
We did everything.
It happened all perfectly. We grew a lot, learned a ton creatively. I mean, I think our self-expression is just like starting to blossom at this point with ideas and what we want to do and how we want to handle this.
The possibilities are endless.
I'm thinking about who I was like in that episode, and funny enough, TMI or not TMI, because hopefully we have a lot of ladies listening, but in the first New Moon episode, I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I like started my cycle, and so I guess I'm really in sync, ha ha ha. Happened again. I thought I started early, but actually I started with the New Moon.
Wow.
Again, so I was like, I am syncing the fuck up.
Yeah, you are. You're in
like,
season.
things are aligning. I am in season. That was good. I am in season.
Because you definitely mentioned that in the last episode.
Yeah.
I just listened to that a couple of days ago.
I was just thinking about that, and I was like, oh, yeah, I am in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny, because you get so in your head, and you think that you're so off path, and yet life is constantly, universe, what do you want to call it, the energies, God, is constantly redirecting you.
Yep.
And moving you exactly where you need to be.
Yeah. Trust the flow.
Yeah. I was like, our next episode will be rituals, and we'll talk more about it, but that is like a big philosophy. I feel like from the last at least 7 years has been everything is perfect, and it's so easy to forget that when things feel hard, and a lot of that is just resisting the change.
Yeah. And then at one point, a past version of yourself imagined or hoped or wanted the present you to exist. And not taking, for granted the change that you do go through.
True. Yeah. This is what I'm looking at what we want to talk about today, and we literally already started hitting on it just naturally.
Happened last time,
guys.
too.
What we talk about in sync and flow. We already hit mind, body, soul.
Yeah. Do you want a rapid fire?
Yes, I'd like to
and let
rapid
goes?
fire. So, okay, let's talk about the corn moon. You tell me, what was... I got it, guys. 1 second. Hang on. The vibes of the corn moon.
And we'll put in our show notes in this episode the book, that page, if it's on camera. I don't know our frame, but the book that
we use.
Yeah, we're using. One of many books.
So, yes, look forward to our full moon episode. We will go more in depth with the entire energy of the moons and the stories behind it. And just the history, the definitions that we are learning right now that we find super freaking fun. But it's a new moon. We're setting intentions. So let's talk about the power flow flow, for the corn moon, which is energy into harvesting, gathering, appreciating, vitality, health, and friendships, as a friendly reminder from the beginning. So, yeah, let's get into it. We're gathering everything that we've already put into place this year, appreciating our path, accepting ourselves where we are, infusing our vitality, our health. Liz is starting to get into harvest her herbs. I'm starting to bring things inside and really focusing on the herbs that I need to be taking. Yeah. Friendships. Baby, we meet every Saturday.
We do meet every Saturday. Whether we're doing this or not.
It's been a thing lately and I love it.
Which before I was not hanging out with friends. I was just like by myself doing my own little like hermit introvert thing, and now I'm the social butterfly. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
As soon as you push yourself out there, all of a sudden it seems so easy. Because I was the same way, especially this past winter, of just like, I don't think I have a lot of people, and that's fine. And I'll just do my little thing, and you forget. You're like, no, they're there, and you got to go.
You need a community.
Put some effort. Yeah, some effort into it as well.
Yeah.
All right, rapid fire. Elizabeth, 5 things to keep for the next month.
I am keeping
let's do that. Deep breath.
Yoga. Yeah, let's do one more together.
All right.
I'm keeping yoga. I'm keeping nature. I'm keeping friendship. I'm keeping patience. And I'm keeping podcasting. Well, I have to keep podcasting.
5th high five of the day. Yes. All right.
Take another reset breath.
Okay. I'm going to keep schedule and discipline and refining that to fit me and not what I think it should be. I'm going to keep focus on my health, which has been not quick, fast, easy dinners, but taking time to really enjoy eating my food. I think I said that last month too, and I'm gonna continue that.
That's been say that last month.
Yeah. So that's still a big focus here. We cheat in the summer, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So focus on enjoying eating and not treating it like a chore or something I have to figure out every day, but something to look forward to. Is nourishing my body. I'm going to keep open conversation. I think I found moments where I really reached out to older friends, acquaintances, and just caught up. And I want to continue that into early fall. Touching base, checking on your people, expanding that network. And I'm almost embarrassed to say, being a little selfish still. Not worrying so much about how my choices or my life and what's good for me affects everyone else around me, and shifting it around that, but more so allowing myself to be selfish, and it's okay. And it's okay for them to react and do what they need to do, and you continue to do what you need to do for yourself. So continue to be a little selfish. You know, I think I said last episode too, practicing saying yes and no.
And no. It's part of
keeping the balance and when to do it. Yeah.
It's part of keeping your cup full, because if you're constantly operating on a depleted or half full cup, then you're just going to be spinning in circles and things aren't going to get done or manifest in the way that you want. And I'm speaking you generally. Yeah. Right now, I'm not saying you, Paige. But yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like gratitude and intuition rituals I'm going to keep. I practice them a little bit, and I'm going to keep practicing so they become more of my daily life, of taking that space to ground myself so that I know myself and I feel more in my body, and then practice intuition through that, what naturally feels good, and keep practicing until I get back to the point where like I just automatically know.
Your
I would
gut's talking.
like to feel that again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Let go.
Let go. Okay. I am going to be letting go of negative self-talk, adhering to really super routine days or super structured days. Basically not biting off more than I can chew. I'm letting go of eating out. I am letting go of going to bed late. And I am letting go of putting things off that I know I have to do. There are several things that I know I have to do, several people I know I need to call. And the longer you put that stuff out, just the more like anxiety.
It eats at you in this subconscious little like dust in the corner way. So we're actually pretty aligned on that with just slight differences. I too am going to practice letting go of beating myself the F up, constantly judging myself for what happens and doesn't happen, and instead make schedules and goals that actually align with how I live, what is natural to me in the moment, and what feels good, what keeps life fun, and what allows you to keep your peace.
Yes.
Keep your peace. I am, if you didn't see the high five, because you're not watching it visually, guess what? We clapped because we're both getting rid of eating out.
Yes, we are.
Fried foods, again, just enjoying that process of nourishing yourself. And also I want to introduce new foods. So that's on the keep side. Let go of the eating out, introduce going to international markets, having more fun shopping. I want to introduce new like herbs that I don't grow and vegetables you don't always see, but also seasonally. We're talking about living in sync. And this is a year I'm tired of talking about it. I really want to make sure I switch up my grocery shopping schedule to not have the same shit you buy all year, to actually buy things that are in season.
Yeah.
To get the nourishment you need as your body goes through flows and changes, and stop ignoring how important that is. And then we were also talking TMI, like cycle flows, seed cycling. I need to do that and let go of just taking generic vitamins and not just basic probiotics, actually focusing on the things that really give your body the nourishment you need so that you don't have to take those supplements as often or, store bought. I want more freshness.
I want more freshness too.
Yeah.
I want to know what my body needs, and I think I need to buy like a vitamin and food sensitivity test. I know they sell them on Amazon.
And an allergy test. Yes.
They're kind of expensive, but I feel like it's money well spent to know if
to know yourself.
Yeah, if you're eating something too much or too little, I want to know.
Right. I want to be the person that can say, oh, eggplant, yes, is a natural good food, but it's not good for my gut. My body doesn't need it. I eat this instead. Yeah. And I want to know those things.
I want to know those things too.
Yeah. So you were talking about letting go of rigid schedule. I'm on the opposite because I already live in this just wake up, flow with what needs to be done right in front of you, and it's not working for me. I need to introduce discipline in my life again so that I actually have more free time. Because you already live on a pretty good schedule. So I understand why you want more just flow with letting some things happen, open up time to just go do whatever feels good. I need to import. No other word is coming to mind. Import discipline.
I just had the word that implement.
Thank you. No, it's import now.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I'm going to import discipline and export free fly by the seat of your pants living. Import, export. This is hilarious. If you guys can't tell, I've been doing a lot of just creative editing and stuff. So
we worked for a while before this episode. So
I have a week on just different things. So yeah, import, export.
Maybe that's what this segment should be called.
Yeah,
now.
import, export. I like it. It's funny.
Tell us if you guys like that. Or Paige and I just need to call it a day here soon.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Allow it to feel good to have discipline so that I actually have more free time to work on hobbies and the fun things. Because it brings way too much anxiety in my life, who I am as a person, to just let things flow. I need to be like, no, force yourself to do this. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, now you have 3 hours to just play. Be intentional with your girls. Go hang out with your dude, or come upstairs and read cards, light candles, listen to fun music and dance around, or like whatever. Like, I just need more space to just be that person. I want more lightness. And to stop putting too much pressure on myself. So I think if I create a schedule by the end of the week, if I can really just start knocking things off that are realistic, and again, not biting off more than you can chew, not giving yourself 30 things to do on a to-do list, write down all the things you want to do for the month, and then make like, you do this one thing today.
Yep.
If you have extra time, here's other 2 things you can do. And I think I will be surprised, because I haven't in the past, how I will knock more things off, setting myself up that way.
Yeah. If you know everything you need to do in order to achieve a goal, it makes achieving that goal so much easier when you sit down and you look at the how that you're going to get there.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming, but
it lets the dreams
necessary.
come back, though, too. All of a sudden, you start dreaming again. Okay, here's what I want to accomplish. This is when I'm going to do it. It no longer sits in my notebook for the past, couple of years of just, oh, yeah, I've really wanted to do that for a long time. It's like, no, I made space for it.
Yeah.
And it brought joy.
Yeah.
And now I'm done, and I want to move on to something else, or I continue to learn.
And your timeline is allowing still for you to introduce those things, but just at its own pace.
Yeah. And sometimes I can be too rigorous. I'm like, this is something you have to do every day.
That's what I'm saying.
10 to 20 minutes. It's like, no, actually, I think I can grow a lot more and start having more fun and learning more of that skill if I just dedicate 1 day a week to it. For me, I need to start block scheduling. That's really what it is. Give yourself time to just be in that zone. Stop telling yourself 10 to 20 minutes every single day. Yeah. I mean, journaling, other things, sure. You can add those into daily stuff. That's not too much to bite off. But like the learning music equipment, or picking up the guitar, or rollerblading again, set aside just 1 hour a week to go do those things.
Like as soon as you drop Palmer off at daycare, you come back before you do anything else, you pick up the guitar.
Yeah.
Do an hour right
Even
there.
like twice a month. Stop working out at home or at the gym. Go to a yoga workshop. At least once a month.
Yes.
Go to a 2-hour class. And like, I know I see the differences when I do those little things. And instead, when I don't make time for it, I only do it twice a year, which is silly. We have the time. We just don't make the time because we're like scatterbrained all day, and we're like, oh, we could have done so much more this morning if we had just made space. Right. So yeah, I want to have more awareness and let go of being scatterbrained, judgmental, and chaotic. Deal, Paige? Deal. Okay.
High five. Boom.
The 10th one today.
The 10th one today. Keep on can't reach you.
Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing our intentions, what talking about the new moon is all about. It's been pretty cool that we started a podcast based off of our already weekly conversations. Yeah. Sometimes every 2 weeks conversations. If it was 2 weeks, it was 4 hours long.
Right. True. We hope that you will all and set your own intentions and look for the ways those intentions are manifesting in your own life. Hopefully you found something inspiring with what we're keeping or letting go of, or what we're trying to focus on.
Maybe it's being more vulnerable with your friends.
Yeah.
Telling them like more honestly where you're at, not trying to always seem like you're keeping it together, but this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. Share your interests and your dreams, and, find that tribe where you unapologetically support one another, and there's no judgment, and there's excitement for the other person every time something good happens. Yeah. I think that is so powerful, especially amongst women, when you can find that core group.
Yes.
That just is constantly more excited for you than you are for yourself sometimes. Yeah. Sees more beauty and confidence in you when you're down than you can in yourself. Because I know that's a big reason of why I even wanted to do this podcast, is those conversations. Those are the energies it brought to me.
Yeah. And if you don't have that tribe, if you feel like you can't have these types of conversations with your friends or family, hit Paige and I up on Instagram. Our email address is in the show notes. We will be your tribe. And I mean that sincerely, because I feel like we both have been
That's
looking
really
for
fucking cute.
Tribe.
Yes. Please hit me up in the DMs. Dropping in those DMs.
Slide into our DMs. We want you in there. Not creepy guys, though.
No.
Creepy guys, go somewhere else. We want the fun people that are here for a good talk. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
That is something that I've found even through like my entrepreneurial journey, when you can find those people that you didn't know before and have these deep, like honest, open conversations about your dreams and where you're at and your mental state and what's going on at home. It brought so much community to my life, and I miss that part of it. So if you guys want to talk, yes, for real. This is what this is all about. It's a community of people who don't have it totally figured out, who are opening up their doors to be like, hey, I want to make this shit happen. We're going to take you along the journey, be a part of our best friend conversations while we just gush every week. But also, our conversation sparks action. Because we're not leaving this shit in the phone call anymore. No. We're putting it to action, doing things about it, and encouraging each other along the way. So, yeah, we would love to encourage you as well.
Yeah, we want to open that up to everybody.
Go, Liz. Super fucking cute. Okay.
So, if it's not obvious, like, subscribe, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. Woo. All of that stuff is in our show notes. So, yeah, reach out to us and come along for the ride.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. And remember, keep your heart open,
your mind at ease,
and your soul nourished.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
That's so cute.
Production, assistant, and
additional
music by
The Practitioner.
I wish you were on camera and recording for that. I was so hungover, and Paige goes, "Do you want a shot?"